If you are sitting right now with a degree in your hand, dreaming about moving to Australia permanently, I need you to watch this video very carefully because what I am about to tell you could either save you years of wasted effort or confirm that you are already on the right path. The truth is that not every degree will get you a job in Australia. Not every qualification will impress an Australian employer. And not every field of study will lead to Australian permanent residency. In fact, thousands of international graduates and skilled migrants apply for Australian PR every single year with degrees that simply do not match what the Australian job market actually needs in 2026. They spend years studying, thousands of dollars on fees, and countless hours preparing, only to discover that their degree is not in demand, their occupation is not on the skilled list, and their chances of getting a job offer or a PR invitation are extremely low. I do not want that to happen to you. So today on this channel, I am going to rank the degrees that actually lead to real jobs in Australia in 2026, from the most in demand all the way down, so that you can make the smartest possible decision for your future. Welcome to Australia PR Insider, your most trusted source for honest, accurate, and up-to-date information about Australian immigration, skilled visas, and permanent residency pathways. On this channel, we do not just tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear so that you can make informed decisions that actually move your life forward. If you are new here and you are serious about building your future in Australia, subscribe to Australia PR Insider right now and hit the bell icon because every video we publish is packed with information that can directly impact your PR journey. Now, let us get into today's ranking, because this is genuinely one of the most important pieces of content I have ever put together for this channel. Before we get into the ranking itself, I want to explain how this ranking works so that everything makes sense to you. I am ranking these degrees based on 4 key factors that matter most for getting a job and achieving PR in Australia in 2026. The first factor is whether the occupation linked to that degree is on Australia's skilled occupation lists, specifically the medium and long-term strategic skills list and the short-term skilled occupation list. The second factor is the current demand for that profession in the Australian job market right now. The third factor is the average salary that profession commands in Australia, because higher salaries often mean better PR pathway options, including employer sponsorship. And the fourth factor is how realistic it is for an international applicant with that degree to actually secure employment in Australia within a reasonable time frame. With those 4 factors in mind, let us start the ranking. Starting at the very top of the ranking are degrees in nursing and healthcare. If there is one field that Australia desperately and urgently needs skilled professionals in right now, it is healthcare. Australia is facing a critical and well-documented shortage of registered nurses, aged care workers, midwives, and allied health professionals across both metropolitan and regional areas of the country. A degree in nursing, specifically one that leads to registration as a registered nurse with AHPRA, which is the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, is without question one of the strongest degrees you can hold if you want to work and settle permanently in Australia in 2026. Registered nursing is listed on the medium and long-term strategic skills list, which means it is eligible for the subclass 189 independent skilled visa. It is also heavily prioritized in virtually every state and territory nomination program under the subclass 190 and 491 visas. The average salary for a registered nurse in Australia ranges from 70,000 to 90,000 Australian dollars per year, depending on the state and level of experience. Job opportunities exist in public hospitals, private hospitals, aged care facilities, community health centers, and rural and remote health services. For nurses specifically, Australia also has dedicated visa pathways and fast-track processes that make the PR journey significantly smoother compared to many other professions. If you are considering studying nursing, or if you already hold a nursing degree, you are in one of the strongest possible positions for Australian PR in 2026. Coming in at a very close second are degrees in engineering, particularly civil engineering, structural engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and software engineering. Australia's construction industry is currently experiencing massive growth, driven by large-scale infrastructure projects, housing development programs, and renewable energy initiatives across the country. The demand for qualified engineers with Australian-recognized qualifications is at an all-time high, and it shows no sign of slowing down in the near future. Engineers Australia is the assessing body for most engineering occupations, and the positive skills assessment from Engineers Australia opens doors to the subclass 189, 190, and 491 visa pathways. Civil and structural engineers are particularly in demand in states like Queensland, Western Australia, and Victoria, where major infrastructure projects are ongoing. Mechanical and electrical engineers are finding excellent opportunities in the growing mining and resources sector, as well as the expanding renewable energy industry. Engineers Australia is the assessing body for most engineering occupations, and a positive skills assessment from Engineers Australia opens doors to the subclass 189, 190, and 491 visa pathways. Civil and structural engineers are particularly in demand in states like Queensland, Western Australia, and Victoria, where major infrastructure projects are ongoing. Mechanical and electrical engineers are finding excellent opportunities in the growing mining and resources sector, as well as the expanding renewable energy industry. Average salaries for engineers in Australia range from 80,000 to 120,000 Australian dollars per year, and experienced engineers can earn significantly more, especially in Western Australia's mining regions. Software engineers sit slightly differently in the ranking because while technology skills are in high demand, the IT sector in Australia has become increasingly competitive, with a large number of both local graduates and international applicants all competing for the same roles. However, a software engineering degree, combined with strong practical experience and relevant certifications, remains one of the most employable qualifications in Australia. Third on the ranking are degrees in accounting and finance. Accounting has been a consistently strong performer on Australia's skilled occupation lists for many years, and it continues to hold its position in 2026. A degree in accounting that leads to membership with CPA Australia or Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand is recognized by Australian employers across virtually every industry sector. The assessing bodies for accounting occupations include CPA Australia and CAANZ, and a positive skills assessment from either of these bodies is required before you can submit an expression of interest for PR. Accountants, auditors, and financial advisors are in demand in public practice firms, corporate finance departments, government agencies, and the not-for-profit sector. The average salary for a qualified accountant in Australia ranges from 65,000 to 95,000 Australian dollars per year, and senior accountants and finance managers can earn well above this range. One important consideration for accounting graduates is that the Australian job market for accountants strongly favors candidates who have either studied in Australia or completed the Professional Year program in Australia, which also gives you 5 bonus points toward your PR score. If you are an accounting graduate who has not yet completed a professional year, it is something worth seriously considering. Fourth in the ranking are degrees in information technology, specifically in areas of cybersecurity, cloud computing, data science, artificial intelligence, and network engineering. Australia's digital economy is growing rapidly, and the government has identified technology skills as a national priority. The shortage of cybersecurity professionals in Australia is particularly acute, with both government agencies and private organizations struggling to fill roles in this area. A degree in cybersecurity or information security, combined with relevant industry certifications such as CISSP, CISM, or CompTIA Security Plus, can make you an extremely attractive candidate to Australian employers. Data scientists and machine learning engineers are also in very high demand, as Australian businesses across finance, healthcare, retail, and government increasingly rely on data-driven decision-making. The Australian Computer Society is the assessing body for most IT occupations, and a skills assessment from ACS is required for the PR pathway. Average salaries in the technology sector in Australia range from 80,000 to 130,000 Australian dollars per year, and cybersecurity specialists and senior data scientists often command salaries at the higher end of this range or above it. Fifth on the ranking are degrees in education, particularly early childhood education and primary school teaching. Average salaries in the technology sector in Australia range from 80,000 to 130,000 Australian dollars per year, and cybersecurity specialists and senior data scientists often command salaries at the higher end of this range or above it. Fifth on the ranking are degrees in education, particularly early childhood education and primary school teaching. Australia is experiencing a significant shortage of qualified teachers, especially in early childhood education, special needs education, and STEM subjects at the secondary school level. Early childhood teachers and primary school teachers are both listed on the medium and long-term strategic skills list and are prioritized in state nomination programs across multiple states. The teaching profession in Australia is regulated at the state and territory level, which means you need to apply for teacher registration in the specific state where you intend to work. While the registration process can take some time, qualified teachers with strong English skills and recognized qualifications are finding employment opportunities relatively quickly, particularly in regional areas of Australia where teacher shortages are most severe. Teaching in a regional area also gives you access to the Subclass 491 Regional Visa pathway, and after 3 years in regional Australia, you can apply for permanent residency through the Subclass 191 visa. Sixth on the ranking are degrees in construction management and quantity surveying. Australia's housing and infrastructure boom is creating massive demand for professionals who can manage construction projects, estimate costs, and oversee building programs. Quantity surveyors and construction managers are listed on skilled occupation lists and are actively being targeted by state nomination programs in states like Queensland, South Australia, and Western Australia. If you hold a degree in construction management or quantity surveying, and you have several years of relevant work experience, you are in a genuinely strong position for Australian PR in 2026. Seventh on the ranking are degrees in social work and community services. Australia's aging population and expanding disability support sector under the National Disability Insurance Scheme have created strong and growing demand for qualified social workers and community services professionals. Social workers are listed on Australia's skilled occupation lists, and opportunities exist in hospitals, community organizations, government agencies, schools, and disability support services. The salary range for social workers in Australia is generally between 65,000 and 85,000 Australian dollars per year. While this is lower than some of the other professions in this ranking, the job security and the genuine pathway to PR make it a solid option for applicants with the right qualifications and values. Now, before I wrap up this ranking, I want to address the degrees that unfortunately do not rank well for Australian PR purposes in 2026. Degrees in general arts, humanities, media studies, and many social sciences do not have corresponding occupations on Australia's skilled occupation lists, and therefore do not provide a direct pathway to skilled visa PR. This does not mean these degrees have no value, but it does mean that if Australian PR is your goal, you need to think carefully about whether your degree aligns with Australia's actual immigration priorities. Similarly, degrees in law from non-Australian institutions are extremely difficult to use as a pathway to PR, because Australian law is a highly specialized field that requires local qualification and admission to the bar in the relevant state or territory. The bottom line is this. In 2026, the degrees that actually lead to jobs and PR in Australia are the ones that match Australia's critical skill shortages: healthcare, engineering, accounting, technology, education, construction, and social work are the fields where Australia genuinely needs skilled people, and where your chances of finding employment, receiving a state nomination, and ultimately achieving permanent residency are the strongest. If you are currently studying or planning to study and Australian PR is part of your long-term plan, align your education with these in-demand fields wherever possible. That is your complete 2026 ranking of degrees that actually lead to jobs in Australia. I really hope this video gave you clarity and confidence about the path ahead. If it helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up right now because it genuinely helps Australia PR Insider grow and reach more people who need this exact information. Subscribe to Australia PR Insider if you have not already, turn on notifications, and drop your degree or your occupation in the comments below. I want to hear from you, and I will personally reply to as many comments as I possibly can. Your future in Australia is possible. You just need to make the right choices at the right time. Until the next video, keep moving forward, and I will see you very soon on Australia PR Insider.